In response to the continued tariff sanctions from the West, China began to significantly tighten its rare earth exports from 2025. Soon, this restrictive policy triggered a chain reaction. As of May this year, the rare earth stocks of many U.S. military enterprises have been in a state of emergency. At the current consumption rate, they can only maintain normal operation for about 3 months at most. Although they also tried to re-export rare earths from other countries. In the past 2 weeks, many rare earth transportation channels to the United States were also completely blocked by China. Subsequently, the United States began to seek to unite allies to solve this dilemma. On July 1st, at a meeting held in Washington, the United States joined forces with Japan, Australia, and India to launch the Critical Minerals Cooperation Initiative and form the so-called Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance. This is an attempt to rebuild a rare earth supply chain that does not rely on China. But at the same time as the Quad Alliance announced its cooperation, China also began a rare major move in nearly 3 decades. This decision may redefine the pattern of the global resource industry. So, in today's video, we will explain what the motivation behind the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance is, and what will China do next. If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. Since China restricted the export of rare earths, the global manufacturing industry has generally been in a state of tension. Take India as an example. The local automobile industry is highly dependent on rare earth materials imported from China. Now, due to the shortage of heavy rare earths, warehouses are full of unassembled cars. They all lack a key component the size of a coin: neodymium iron boron magnets. Without this small magnet, a car worth $20,000 can only lie in the warehouse and cannot leave the factory. At present, more than 76% of factories in India are facing the problem of insufficient rare earth inventory, with an average loss of up to $280 million per day. What's more serious is that among the 3.7 million automotive industry workers in the world, more than 300,000 have been forced to enter the unpaid leave state. As the world's first superpower, the United States is also unable to avoid the impact of rare earth shortages. Data shows that as of 2024, 15 of the 50 key minerals listed by the United States are completely dependent on China's supply. That is, the dependence on these 15 minerals is 100%. Now, the U.S. automobile, military, and computer industries are all facing the risk of shutdown. Just one F-35 fighter requires about 400 kilograms of rare earth materials. 12 production lines of a large American aerospace manufacturer may face closure due to the shortage of rare earth magnets. At the same time, the samarium cobalt alloy required for the AGM-183 hypersonic missile has also encountered supply blockages. The U.S. Department of Defense estimates that as many as 1,000 weapon systems have been affected. In order to ease the crisis, the United States is now trying to bypass China's rare earths through third countries. In just 5 months, more than 3,000 tons of rare earths were indirectly transferred to the United States through various means. But soon, this secret transfer route was finally discovered by China. According to the investigation results released by Beijing, all clues of rare earth transshipment ultimately point to 2 countries: Thailand and Mexico. These 2 countries do not have antimony or resources themselves, but their related import data have increased abnormally in the past year. Thailand currently has only 1 antimony or processing plant, which is not advanced in equipment and has limited production capacity, while the processing plant in Mexico has been shut down for a long time due to equipment failure and has only recently resumed operation. From common sense, they do not need such a large amount of rare earth materials. The only possibility is that they import rare earths from China and then resell them to American companies. After discovering the problem, Beijing immediately strengthened the management of rare earth exports and supervised every rare earth order shipped out of China. Once any abnormality is found, rare earth resources will be recalled, or the country will be prohibited from continuing to purchase rare earths. In addition to these two countries, India has also tried to circumvent restrictions and transship rare earths to the United States. A batch of rare earth materials originally declared for electric vehicle manufacturing eventually appeared on the production line of a certain American military enterprise. The Chinese technical team discovered through the tracking system that this batch of rare earths was re-exported through Indian companies. In order to conceal the purpose, relevant Indian companies also forged more than 30 letters of commitment, claiming that rare earths are only used in the civilian field and not involved in military projects. But this operation was eventually discovered by China. In June 2025, China announced the suspension of rare earth exports to India and blacklisted related companies, completely cutting off the supply channels. After these incidents, the United States began to realize that smuggling rare earths through third countries is not a sustainable path. So, they joined forces with many countries to establish a new rare earth cooperation alliance. On July 1st, 2025, Trump hosted a quadrilateral security dialogue in Washington and announced the establishment of the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance with Japan, Australia, and India. According to the currently public information, the main goal of the alliance is to solve the structural risks in the rare earth supply chain and gradually reduce dependence on China's rare earths by strengthening economic and security cooperation. Their plan is to build a complete industrial chain from mining, processing to finished product shipments to achieve a closed-loop operation of the supply chain. As the leading party, the United States not only has the dominant power in coordinating the division of labor, but is also responsible for the allocation of resources and production capacity. If this industrial chain is successfully implemented, it is indeed possible to reduce dependence on China's rare earths to a certain extent, and it will also provide the United States with more room for negotiation and cooperation with other countries. For those countries that maintain close cooperation with the United States or are still on the sidelines, the United States may exchange rare earth quotas for technology, resources, market access, and even security cooperation. In addition, the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance also announced a supporting plan called the Critical Minerals Cooperation Initiative. According to the arrangement, the four countries will divide the work according to their respective advantages. Resource-rich countries will be responsible for mining, industrial countries will be responsible for technical support, and the United States will coordinate the overall structure and investment. Once it comes to large-scale projects, such as the development of new mining areas or the construction of rare earth processing plants, the United States will bear the main financial investment and strategic planning. So, is Trump's rare earth plan really feasible? Among the four members of the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance, Australia is one of the countries with the richest mineral resources in the world, with huge resource reserves. Its production in iron, ore, coal, bauxite, uranium, and gold ranks among the top in the world. Among them, Australia's iron ore reserves account for more than 30% of the global total, with a total reserve of about 55 billion tons, an average iron content of 60%, and an estimated economic value of more than 5.7 trillion US dollars. More importantly, more than 80% of Australia's mineral products are exported, and the main export destinations include Asian countries such as China, Japan, and India. Therefore, it is also described as a country sitting on a minecart. In 2024, Australia's total iron ore exports will be about 83 billion US dollars, accounting for 54.5% of the world's total exports. Based on Australia's advantages in mineral resources, the United States regards it as one of the most critical development sites in the future rare earth supply chain. Resource mining is mainly responsible for Australia, while technology and refining are promoted by Japan. India is responsible for providing manpower support, which has certain advantages in labor-intensive links considering its large population size. The United States is in a coordinating and leading position, responsible for promoting the overall plan, setting rules, and ensuring consistency within the alliance. This arrangement allows the United States to not only directly access Australia's rare earth resources, but also obtain the required raw materials or strategic resources from other member countries through its dominant position in the alliance. Even if some countries do not have high rare earth reserves, they can still provide a certain degree of support to the United States through the alliance's cooperation framework. But the reality is that if you want to truly establish an independent rare earth industry chain, you must bypass the global system that is currently almost completely dominated by China. Because now about 80% of the world's rare earth refining capacity is concentrated in China. Although Australia has resources, Japan has high-end manufacturing capabilities, the United States is good at technology research and development, and India has population and land advantages. What they generally lack is the key link of rare earth refining, which is both complex and costly. This link not only has high technical barriers, but also has a long cycle, heavy pollution, and high investment. In the past, China has continued to work hard in this area for more than 30 years before gradually establishing a complete set of mature industrial chains. From technology to production capacity to supporting facilities, a highly integrated system has been formed. And this is precisely what other countries will find difficult to replicate in the short term. And now the United States and the 3 countries in the alliance have overlooked some key issues. According to currently available information, Australia's Lynas Corporation is currently the only company in the world that can separate rare earths except China. Although the company has been trying to upgrade its technology and find ways to increase its production capacity in recent years, the results are not obvious, and many key links still cannot do without China's participation. Although Japan has a certain foundation in rare earth recycling technology, it is still highly dependent on China for equipment. As for India, although it has rare earth resources and potential advantages in population and land, its overall technical capabilities are weak, its manufacturing level is limited, and it still has a strong dependence on China at the economic level. If India wants to truly participate in rare earth industry cooperation, there are still many problems to be solved. Moreover, in the first half of the year, Trump's series of policies in trade, tariffs, and defense also caused dissatisfaction in many countries, including these 3 cooperative countries. Therefore, this alliance looks coordinated on the surface, but in fact there will be many internal contradictions. So from the current point of view, it will take a long time to completely get rid of its dependence on China's rare earths. After all, the core technology of the rare earth industry cannot be conquered in 1 or 2 years. Interestingly, on the same day that the United States announced the establishment of the Indo-Pacific Rare Earth Alliance, China also implemented the most stringent rare earth export review in nearly 3 decades. Today, July 1st, Beijing officially implemented the new version of the Mineral Resources Law. In this new law, rare earths are clearly listed as national security lifeline resources. Once involved in smuggling, once convicted, the maximum sentence is 10 years in prison. At the same time, China will further strengthen the control of key minerals and dual-use materials and strictly prohibit any form of illegal outflow. Unlike before, this time China has also fully incorporated the rare earth industry chain from exploration, approval, mining, to transportation, export, and other links into the National Unified Dispatch. This means that in the future, the export control of these materials will be stricter, especially to prevent third-party countries from taking advantage of loopholes and detours. In fact, before this, China has already begun to strengthen the comprehensive control of rare earths. In April this year, China imposed export restrictions on 7 medium and heavy rare earth products and some magnetic materials. Metal products with dual-use properties such as gadolinium, samarium, terbium, and dysprosium must state the specific use, declare the end user, and provide full process certification materials for the entire circulation chain. While the United States is still discussing how the 4 countries should share profits and allocate resources, China has already comprehensively upgraded its rare earth strategy by upgrading its legal system, strengthening technological control, and improving its global layout, further consolidating its dominant position in the global key mineral supply chain. To not miss out on our future projects and news updates, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We will continue to provide you with more exciting and interesting content.